All right, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Kasha Kwala coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Machakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Leniency, leniency, leniency. Man, leniency can go two ways. Two ways. A good way or a bad way. Simple as that. Just like anything else in life, it can go two ways. Left or right, up or down, good or bad. Simple. Whichever category you want to pick. If you want to pick the category of left and right, you can only go one of those ways. You can't go the same way at the same time. If you want to pick the category good or bad, you can only go one way. Either you're going to be bad or you're going to be good. If you want to go up or down in that category, you can only go down or you can only go up. It's the same. So leniency falls in, well, almost every word in characteristics fall in one of those three categories. You can only go one way with it. So leniency, we're going to get it on both sides of the spectrum. But on more so, I'm going to bring out how you can be over lenient. All right, so the word leniency, it says the fact or quality of being more merciful to or tolerant than expected. Let's see. Slovakia. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so it says the fact or quality of being more merciful or tolerant than expected. Correct. So meaning, oh man, you're giving me more leeway than I expected. I expected, whatever. Right? It's kind of like if you're late on a payment, the company's like, oh, it's okay, we'll give you some more time to pay it off. That's called leniency. Okay? Or if you have to pay somebody back and they're like, oh, you good, bro, just, pay me back when you can. That's leniency. Now, it's good to be lenient because you're showing mercy. You're showing compassion. But it gets to a point where the opposite party starts taking advantage of the leniency. Then you have to be strict and stern. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being strict or stern, because if you're being strict or stern, that means you showed and expressed your mercy and your leniency towards somebody, but they took advantage of it. Now, I really want to tie this around into the camp setting. All right? You've got brothers in the camp. Maybe being in the camp for a year or two. Okay? Or been in the truth for 5 years. Been camping for 2 years. Right? A level of leniency, yes, can be shown on certain topics. Now, when it comes to doctrine basics and basic prayers that should be known, you've been knowing the truth for 2-3 years, I don't know how lenient I can be with you. This isn't me personally. I don't know how lenient I can be with you, because those are the first things you should know. If a brother comes up asking random, hey, what's the breakdown of the book of Zephaniah? Or what's the breakdown of Daniel's, the 11th chapter? How about that? What's the breakdown of Daniel's 11th chapter? And you sit there and ask him, can you recite the Hebrew alphabet to me? And it's not, and he can't, or it's stumbling, or you got to help him with it, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that, is what I'm saying. How can I go through a whole meaty breakdown, a weighty breakdown to you, and you can't even get the basics? Now I'm like, you got a week or so to learn the alphabet. If you can't get it then you showing me you ain't studying. I can't be lenient with you. You know what I'm saying? There's a time to be lenient, and there's a time to put fire on Jake's ass. Because sometimes that's the only way Jake can get things done. Because Jake can be very lethargic and procrastinate and be lazy when it comes to anything. That's just Jake. Jake really embodies the flesh, because all the flesh wants to do is chill. Okay? You can't be lenient all the time. If you're lenient towards your brother all the time, you could actually be hurting him. Instead, you have to, the Bible, false balance is an abomination to the Lord. You have to be lenient at times, and you have to be stern and put fire on their ass at times. And how does the Lord make that happen? In the body. You got brothers who are very gentle, and you got brothers who are stern. It's a balance. The Spirit will lead the one brother to either go to the gentle side or the stern side. The Spirit will make that decision. Okay, the Spirit will be like, okay, this brother, he's lazy, he's lethargic, he ain't gonna do something unless somebody's chewing him out, or unless somebody's staying on top of him, or unless somebody's making him do something. So let me put him over here to that stern brother to teach him. That's how he needs to be taught. Or this brother's very studious. This brother's very studious and, whatever. Okay? Both brothers believe. Just one's just more studious than the other one. The other one may be a little bit more lazy than the other one. It is what it is. You got dudes like that, but believe and have faith. Okay? Or you got a very studious brother. Okay. He studies to show himself approved unto the Most High. Like this, I'm gonna get that scripture. Okay. Let me just take him over to the gentle brother, because it may be something he may not understand, and he may get it a little faster if it was taught to him in a more gentle, decent manner. Yes, you are supposed to be gentle to all brethren. Even when you're not being lenient or you're being very stern, you still be gentle. There's a way. Okay? You could be a stern brother and not always have to be like, rah, 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 rah. You just be like, hey, bro, hey, hey, okay, cool. So we're going to go through this, but I'm going to give you about like 2 weeks or a week to learn it. That's being stern. But you see how I'm coming off right now? They'll be like, okay, Con, yeah, I'm going to get it. You're still being gentle, but you're just giving the time frame. And you'd be like, hey, man, I'm going to give you this time frame on the alphabet or whatever. Hey, it's fairly easy to learn. You can really learn this in one night, but I'm going to give you a week. All right, so next week I'm going to expect you to recite it to me to the T, because I'm giving you a whole week. I'm giving you a whole week to study something you can learn and recite in one night, and memorize in one night, and understand in one night. You know what I'm saying? That you could be a stern brother, but it's the way you deliver it. All right? You could be a stern brother, but don't be an asshole to your Akim. You know? And sometimes, hey, if it gets to the point, yeah, you got to chew a brother out and curse him out. Like, man, what the fuck's you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember that, hey, the laborers are few, but the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Just paraphrase it. You don't want a brother to be out the camp because he doesn't know something or something. Teach him. But sometimes you got to be more stern, and other brothers you can be more lenient because you know they're studious and they're going to get it and they're going to understand it. That goes back to retainability. But you can't always fall on, I can't retain things that well. Okay, well, you've been in the camp or whatever, or been in the truth for 5 years. Now it's coming to a point there's not really an excuse not to know these things. You know, whether you're a help or you're an officer or whatever. When it comes to certain basics, and you've been in the camp or you've been around brothers for more than a year, there's really not an excuse not to know certain basics. It's really not an excuse. It's hard to be lenient. All right? Now, if you are continuing to be lenient to a brother and he's still not getting it, well, don't you think you should change your method of teaching up into a more of a stern approach to it, and being given time frames, whatever, study this, do this, put them on a curriculum, okay? And be like, yo, you got to pretty much give them due dates. Give him tests. Written tests, so he can have those for his account so he can go back and study those. You know? You can't, if you're always lenient, okay, you be lenient with a brother for a month. Next thing you know, he takes advantage. You still be lenient on him going on 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Now he's 3-4 years in the camp and still doesn't know the Adawan Pa'al. Nah, it doesn't work like that. Okay? Here's the word lenient in the etymology. It's an adjective. It says relaxing or soothing. Everybody in the camp can't be lenient. There has to be brothers who are stern. If the head of the camp is like, why y'all brothers not know these prayers? Well, some officers or some captains have to put it on themselves to get some sternness out of them and be like, yo, you heard what the head of the camp said. Let's learn this. You got this long to learn it, and you better recite it to the T. Simple. All right. You can't. Everyone can't be lax or soothing, because it will end up hurting an individual who needs that fire put on them. Okay. It says to soften, alleviate, allay, calm, soothe, pacify. You can't pacify another brother who's been in the camp or whatever, been in the truth for 10 years and still doesn't know basics. Nah, I'm not about to be lenient. Now, there's a case when a brother who may have first just came into the camp. Let's be lenient. Let's work with him. Let's see what he knows. You know, you got to, in order to be a teacher, you got to know where your students are. You got to know where your students are. Let's see what he knows. Simple. It's not so much questioning intelligence. It's just where are you at? So I know where to start with you. Simple as that. It says mild, gentle, calm. You have brothers who are very lenient. But don't take advantage of them brothers who are lenient. Take that as a blessing that they're lenient. Because you can see there's some brothers out there in other camps that'll be like, what? What? How long you been? What? Nah, bruh. Okay. It says to let go or slacken. If you give a brother too much slack, he's gonna take it and run with it. It's like you say, you give a man an inch, he takes a mile. You give a man an inch of leniency, Jake will take a mile with that. Oh, hey, here you go, bro. Here's the prayers, or here's whatever. Here's these precepts that you should know. But yeah, just look through them, at your own pace, whatever. Calm, bro. He probably looked at that. He probably looked at those notes the first time you gave it to him, never reopened them after that. You don't know. And the way you can tell is if, hey, a month down the road, do you know the prayers yet? Oh, no. But I gave it to you a month ago. Have you not been studying it? He took advantage of your leniency. All right. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. You're not trying to prove yourself unto another man. You're not trying to prove yourself unto nobody. You're trying to prove yourself to the Most High that you are worthy to get a ticket onto a chariot to get the hell out of this destruction. That's what you're trying to prove. That's who you're trying to prove. You better suck up to the Lord and not another man. The Lord has another man there to help you. He put the Spirit on that other man to teach you the things that you need to know in order to study those things to be approved. Don't take advantage of another man's leniency, and don't take advantage of another man's a willingness to help you out in the first place. Okay? The scriptures tell you in Hebrews, I think 13 and 16, I want to say, to not make there's ones who watch over your souls. Don't make their jobs hard. Don't make their jobs joyous. Don't make their jobs grievous. And how you make it joyous? By studying. They teach you something, and next thing you know, you on down the road, you're teaching in all the highways and byways. That makes another man joyful because he understands now that you got the understanding. And that's a beautiful thing. You joy over something like that. Okay? It says, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But the main thing is to study to show yourself approved. If it's a mandatory thing to know these type of things, well, guess what? Get to it. All right? Simple. Get to it. Study. Show your diligence into that brother who put the work and effort in to teach you. Okay? This is Ecclesiastes 20 and 29. It says, the presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth, that he cannot be reproved. Okay? It says presence and gift blind the eyes. Correct. We're going to get Ecclesiastes chapter 7, where it says a gift destroyeth the heart. Will oppression make a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart? What? If a present and gift blind the eyes, what's a present and a gift? Something that's given is leniency. A brother doesn't have to give you leniency if he doesn't deems necessary, or the Spirit is on him to deem necessary not to give you the leniency. But if he does, that's a gift. That's a gift. If you sit there and take advantage of it, then you let that gift blind your eyes. This brother, he don't really, he cool, man. He really don't care like that. You got your goddamn mind. Every brother should care about another brother, especially him getting salvation. You shouldn't want another brother not to get that. At the end of the day, whatever camp you in, you want to see every man around you make it up into a chariot, including yourself. So why not help that other brother? And if you are lenient towards that other brother, in the case of the guy who receiving the leniency, don't take advantage of it. Be thankful that you got the leniency that the brother gave you, because he didn't have to do it at the end of the day. Salakia. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 7:7 says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Okay, so let's dig deep into this. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Now, this is where you have to show your mercy and your compassion. There's a point where you're over strict. You could be over lenient, or you can be over strict. Now, if you're being over strict and over stern, and your sternness is at a high level that it does not need to be, well, guess what? Now you're oppressing that man. And that man is in the truth, so I'm pretty sure he has a level of wisdom to understand that you're oppressing him, and it's now starting to piss him off or driving him crazy. So you have to have a complete balance between a leniency and sternness. It's okay to be stern. It's okay to put fire on Jake's ass, because Jake should goddamn know. Like, damn, man, he right, man. I should have been known this, but I took advantage of the leniency. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. A gift, something that's given. Okay? And leniency can be given. And sometimes it can destroy the heart of a man. Now, if you're over lenient, that will destroy the heart of a man. Because he should have been known something. He should have been known something years ago. And figured out something years ago. But you've been lenient with him for years. That's going to destroy his spirit. Okay? Here's James chapter 5:8. It says, be ye also patient. There goes mercy. Establish your hearts. But there goes the sternness. There's a balance in this. I'm going to show you why. It says, be ye also patient. Establish your hearts. For the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Now let's look. It says, be ye also patient. That's showing the compassion. That's showing your mercy. That's showing the understanding that a brother may not get something, and you got to show the mercy and gentleness that you need to in order for him to get it. That's understandable. Now here comes the balance of this scripture. It says, establish your hearts. Establish it. Now let's get the word establish real quick, and we're going to really see how this is the balance. All right. Starizo in the Greek, and it means to make stable, place firmly, set fast. Okay, now when you place something firmly, let's get the word firm. The word firm means to force. You force something on a brother. All right, it says establish your heart. So force your mind to understand this. That's sternness. Okay, to prove the point that firm means force, we're going to get the etymology, because when you go into the word force, the word firm is there. All right. It says physical strength, force, strength, courage, fortitude, violence, power, compulsion. It says strong, mighty, and firm. When you establish another brother's heart, you're being stern with him. You're forcing this. It sounds wrong, but you're forcing this on him. Like, bro, I want you and need you to know this. And it's mandatory that you know this. I'm done playing games with you. I'm done being lenient with you. I try to be lenient at first. Your first step should be leniency towards your brother and showing compassion. But when you see him starting to take advantage of that, and you see him not progressing, now it's time to start forcing and establishing his heart by being mighty and firm towards him. Okay? Can't sit here and be lenient with a brother who's been in the camp for a year and 2 years and 3 years, when he should know this, that, and the third. You've been in the camp for a year and a half, 2-3 years, and you still don't know the alphabet. Get out of here. Okay? No. I ain't about to be lenient toward that. I'm not. I'm about to be stern. I'm about to tell you that this is something mandatory that you should know. Don't ask me to go into the Revelation 17, 18, 14, 13, 9 breakdown with you if you can't even recite to me the alphabet. What sense does that make? Why would I feed a baby some beef jerky instead of the milk that it needs to nourish its bones and give the proper nourishment? He doesn't even have teeth to chew it. It's the same thing in this case. I'm gonna put your mouth on the tit. Brothers have to wean younger brothers. I'm still being weaned. I've been in the truth going on 5 years now. I'm still being weaned. Okay? It says strong, mighty, firm. And I'm pretty sure the elder brothers expect me to know certain things. If they teach it in a class, they're going to expect you to know it the next week when you have a test. Simple. Okay? It says strong, mighty, and firm. All right? Going back to starizo, it means to strengthen, make firm, to render consent, confirm one's mind. Whew. Being over lenient, that ain't the wave, man. It ain't it, Chief. Because you got to recognize, if you're being over lenient and not recognize that a brother's not progressing in the spirit, then you're being taken advantage of. And also, your discernment skills are not as up to par. They ain't. I'm not saying this to insult, but it's just facts. You got to realize, like, okay, I done told this brother 50 times what this answer was, and he continually gets it wrong. Your retainability, that's understandable. But it gets to a point where it's not retainability anymore. It gets to a point where it's like, you just don't goddamn care. Okay? So I just wanted to get that. There's a fine line between being over lenient and being too stern. And to the other party, there's a fine line with retainability or having trouble doing something or whatever, and lethargic and not giving a shit. Okay? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Machakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Brother Kasha Quala from the GMS Atlanta Church. Until next time, I want to say shalom.